Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had that homie that never has his own frajos, is always asking to bum one from you, and the lighter, where you have to tell him, damn, homie, I'm going to smoke it for you too, smash that subscribe button. Go ahead and have him smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the newest patrons, Nick, Frank, Alejandro, Phoenix Steve, Abuelita Irma, Trailero760, Trevor, Main Jail Yard, Erasmo, Benny, Sergio, Grant, El Skid, and Joquez. If you have not signed up yet, you're probably the only one missing out. Make sure you hit the link in the description below. Get signed up for that Patreon. Before I begin this episode, I want to send my condolences to those at Kern Valley State Prison for a correctional officer who passed away on July 19th. That is Correctional Officer Mikey Lopez. Rest in peace. My condolences to you guys and to our brothers and sisters up and down the state of California. With this being said, this episode right here is going to be about the severity of working in a prison, the severity of mental health, the severity of living by the sword and dying by the sword. You know, if it's one thing that I know death, right? I'm not bragging, I'm not boasting, I'm not even fucking proud of that, to be honest with you. I've been so close to it, I've seen it in so many different ways that, I know it all too well. Working for the California Department of Corrections, we used to do that block training once a year. Used to be called 7K back in the day for the OGs, where 1 week out of the year, you go and you do your remedial training, you go over your use of force policy, you go over escape procedures, you go over some bunch of other stuff. Well, they had incorporated a 2-hour block of inmate suicide prevention, where we had to sit there in the classroom listening to a mental health psychologist talk about why we should care about inmates who commit suicide and signs of somebody that is suicidal. For instance, giving away their property, making statements. Oh, I don't belong to live on this earth. I don't deserve to live on this earth. Suicide attempts, stuff like that. There is quite a few inmate suicides in prison. I've had more than a handful of incidents directly involved. As a sergeant and as a lieutenant. I don't recall as an officer. As an officer, I was at Centinela State Prison. They were killing each other, not necessarily killing themselves. Donovan was a whole nother beast. Well, what about the staff members, Hector? He gave you 2 hours of inmate suicide prevention. What about the staff members wearing green? Well, yeah, after a while, after a few years, they incorporated 1 hour block of staff suicide prevention. Again, you have a doctor pretty much kind of saying the same things. And listen to what I just said, though. That kind of upset a lot of people. That kind of not upset me, but I'm like, oh, that's cool. You guys give the inmates 2 hour block of suicide prevention. You give the staff 1 hour. Hey, at least we get that 1 hour, right? That was kind of the mindset. With that being said, my wife opening up the damn garage door, fucking triggering me, man. Demons. With that being said, cause she be knowing I be making these fucking videos early in the morning too. Damn, she be pissing me off sometimes. Ooh, fuck. My dog passed away. I can't kick that motherfucker right now. But with that being said, we get that 1 hour. We get that 1 hour of inmate suicide or staff suicide prevention, excuse me. And while sitting in both classes, this is what I've taken away from it. This is what I absorbed in my little ears. I heard the lady say one time, the mental health lady. For the record, we did call her an inmate lover. We did call her an inmate lover. For the record. She said, hey, guys, classroom. The act of suicide is a violent form of action, right? It is violence. All right. She also went on to state that if you've been exposed to violence, what you're doing, and exposed to death, as far as like you're living it, you're in the mix, right? Whether you're in prison or you're in war, your boy happened to be extra screwed up. That because you're so used to violence that it kind of, death loses its like awe, loses its like lackluster. You know what I mean? It's not so fucking scary because it's right there, right? We've all been towing that line. Some of us longer than others, some of us more intensely than others, right? But nevertheless, we're exposed to it day in, day out. So with that being said, the act of suicide, and according to her, which made sense, was that like it's kind of no big deal if you've already kind of erased that barrier, erased that threshold, erased that filter. You're right up on there. One other thing she went on to say was, this is what she was talking about inmates. Trust me, that like people are like buckets. Whatever you have, trauma in your life, you get filled up, right? It fills up your bucket. It fills up your bucket. It fills up your bucket, and eventually it's gonna overflow. And when it overflows, people do drastic measures like suicide attempts and or suicide, right? I just gave you the whole medical part of it, right? So what the fuck does it mean in your language, Hector? Yeah, exactly that, but more a little graphic. I told you I know death very well. When I joined the army at 17 years old, we were trained to kill. Kill, 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 kill. That's all they fucking said. Every cadence was about killing kids, napalm sticks to kids. That was the cadence. Napalm sticks to kids, right? And they're doing this to indoctrinate you and to be able to go to war and perform. No, we were not purposely killing kids. It just, that's what they fucking, you could call it brainwashing if you would like. No different than a criminal prison gang organization brainwashing the younger generation, right? They're getting indoctrinated into something. And I'm getting somewhere with this. So since taking a life was part of training, part of survival, if someone already has taken a life, then that definitely, this is me speaking from experience. That definitely, a life is a life, right? If I've already taken a life, what is it to me if I take my own life? If you hear what I'm saying, right? Like, that's the thought process. That is, you're erasing that shock value. It's no longer what when you're a kid, you grow up, you're taught all this stuff, right? You go to catechism, you watch TV. Hey, you're not supposed to be doing this kind of bad stuff. But hey, some people join the military, some people join a gang, some people join corrections, some people become police officers. You're out there shooting it out with bad guys, right? AB 109ers, we talked about this in a couple videos ago. Why do you think there's such a high suicide rate in law enforcement? Because of the exposure to violence. That's my 2 cents. I was in Iraq, man. You be knowing they be kidnapping and torturing and chopping off the heads of captives with dull knives. We knew that. We each had a round, 1 5.56 round in our cargo pocket and or in our magazine. With it being, if we ever get to the point where we're about to get captured, we're going to off ourselves. Mandatory. Wasn't even a blink. Clearly. And this is why. We were not going to have our family members watch us on fucking the internet get our heads chopped off. Period, point blank. Wasn't going to happen. We weren't going to do that to our families. Plus, I don't like the idea of getting my head chopped off. So I don't go to Mexico at all. So now you guys are seeing like, damn, Hector, this shit's twisted. This shit's fucking dark. This shit's, yeah, it is. It is. You know, they say it's like suicide was taboo, or it is taboo. You shouldn't talk about it. I'll tell you the truth, man. I don't know what you should or shouldn't do. I know this, that you can't, you know, there's so many people that when somebody kills themselves, they say, oh, I wish I could have done more. I wish I could have seen the signs. I don't believe that is true. I think if a person is intent on executing that, they're going to go all the way. Man, I do have a handful of friends that have committed suicide. Army friends, friends from back home, friends from the prison. You always hear, like when you're younger, when I was younger, other people that are not educated. Oh, what a coward way to go out. What a coward way to go out. I never believed that then. Definitely don't believe that now. I don't know what demons people fight. Check this out, man. I have my own demons. I walk with my own demons, right? And the only time they get me is when I fall asleep. That's the truth. I carry them. I carry my ghost. I'm not exempt from any of this shit. Treatment. I've sought plenty of treatment. Is that the answer? Suicide? Fuck no. Absolutely not. Well, Hector, why do you say that? Because there's so much to live for. For instance, once you get past whatever little trauma or big trauma or trauma that you're going through, that story in itself you can look back and help somebody else. Well, Hector, how the hell would you know that? Because when my friend got killed on my mom's birthday while we were out on patrol, I fucking was crying to God, why would you do this? Why would you do this? What is the message here? What's the point here? And now I am able to get on a platform like YouTube and go and speak to people. In the next war that America goes to, because you bet your sweet dollar we will, when those young vets come back, I'm going to be right there to hold my hand out. When they're ready, they'll come to me, right? And or I'll go to them. That's the whole point. Living by the sword and dying by the sword. As a correctional officer, mostly at Centinela State Prison, the chances of you getting viciously attacked, it's there. It's there. The chances of you getting attacked by an inmate, it's there. It's not. I'm not gonna say it doesn't exist. Fuck yeah, it exists. The propensity for violence is definitely there. Us as coworkers, we used to talk and we used to be like, man, if we're ever getting stabbed, I'm gonna take the knife away and start stabbing the other dude back. I never seen that happen, to be honest with you. But those were definitely conversations had all the fucking time. I don't think it was so much trying to sound tough. I really think, because I would feel like, hey, there's no way you're going to stab me. There's no fucking way, right? Like, hey, there's no way you're going to stab me and get away with it if I'm not fucking out of commission. Here we go. If I'm not motherfucking limp-ass arm trying to stab somebody back, right? I don't think people would think too far ahead into, like, legal issues or, hey, you shouldn't have done that. I just think, like, hey, I'm pretty sure you could sell it. Like, fucking in the mix of fight for your life, this is what happened. The inmates do it all the time. I'm just telling you what kind of conversations are had. There's that morbid joke, the dark humor that we use to ease the pain, cover up the trauma. That can't be fucking healthy at all. I know it's not healthy. And I'm going to say something. You know, there's other YouTube channels that are really going in depth. Really, really going in depth on what's going on in the California prisons with certain organizations. Ooh, they're hit. And they're not wrong. They are not wrong. Right? But they're telling it like it is, straight up. I came to a theory yesterday. Here's my theory. I said, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. We all know what's going on in the California prison system. Turn on the news. Look at who's getting killed. I came to the conclusion that, like, this was inevitable. This was fucking inevitable. This was prolonged. Check this out. This is a gem right here. You know when you can food? When you can food, like some people can vegetables, some people can meat, and within that can, it is preserved. It is preserved. It can last years and years and years on the shelf. But the second you open it up, it's going to go bad, right? It's going to go bad. Check it out. You don't think when they put those heavy hitters away in Pelican Bay shoe and Corcoran shoe, they were canned? They were canned away? You weren't seeing the fucking type of violence you're seeing right now. Not this type of violence. There was violence, but not what you're seeing right now. Why is that? Because they were canned away on a shelf. Now they're out. Lid is open, and you're seeing all the rottenness. It's rotten. What do you want me to tell you? That is not. We can put dollar signs, we can put money, we can put dope, we can put cell phones, we can put business cards, we can put a fucking Visa, MasterCard. What it really is death. It's death. So if you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword. Keep pushing forward.